Okay, guys, another episode of Shellonomics. We are here with TMNTDerTalk Christian, the host of the awesome German Turtle podcast. We wanted to come back and do season 3. We had so much fun talking about season 2. It's time to get into season 3. So this is really the beginning of the end of Michelangelo's nunchuck usage. The violence really starts getting pulled back, and let's get right into it, Christian. Tell us about Beneath These Streets, the first episode in the new season.
Thanks for having me back. So let's get into this episode because it's a long season. It's 47 episodes. Let's get it on. Beneath the Streets was the first episode of the third season, and it was the return of Shredder and Krang. They were back after sinking into the lava at the end of the last season. However, they got out of this. And this is a pretty dramatic episode because in this episode, Shredder attacks Splinter with a medical gun and he puts him into a coma and the Turtles have to save him. It's, a dramatic episode, a dramatic start to this season.
Oh, I thought it was a fantastic start. And also, there's a couple cool tidbits here. I don't know if they had to have known because it says this was released April 4th, 1990. And it says original release date was in September. So, do you remember the spot in there where they go to the movie theater and they think about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the movie? Remember that spot where they're talking about that?
Yeah, when they say, what would happen if they would make a movie about us? That would be weird, wouldn't it? I mean, it's funny because, as you said, this season was from 1989, so 1 year before the first movie came into theaters. So it's like a little bit of foreshadowing here.
Yeah, and they knew it was going to happen. It was just, and a lot of these early episodes here were written by Michael Reeves. So it looks like David Wise was taking a break, and whatchamacallit, he doesn't come in until a couple episodes later. But I really enjoyed this one to get back into the thick of things. The animation starts getting very, very different, and then we have another episode, which I thought this one was really cool. Turtles on Trial, where they make fun of like your talk show Jerry Springers and all those kind of guys. What are your thoughts on Turtles on Trial?
Turtles on Trial is, in my opinion, a fantastic episode because, as you said, it's such a funny meta joke with the Clayton Kellerman guy, who is obviously a parody of Jerry Springer and all these talk show hosts. And in my opinion, this episode has a fantastic animation style because we see in this season there are many different animation styles because so many episodes they had to outsource the animation process to different studios. But this episode has a fantastic art style and also some pretty cool action scenes. I mean, if you remember the scene when the Turtles were fighting Shredder, Bio, and Rocksteady in the museum, it was pretty cool. It was really well animated, in my opinion.
I agree, and also, I mean, Krang going to the surface, we didn't really get that too much. So anytime as a kid you see Splinter or Krang getting involved, I always got chills. Like, oh, cool, this is gonna be an epic battle here. So I always like that too.
Oh yeah, Krang with the giant mech robot. That was pretty cool.
Exactly. Then we go in, speaking of giants, and not a mech, but a giant, Attack of the 50-Foot Irma, who loved ice cream in this episode. How'd you like this one? Because didn't they make a NECA figure of Baby well, no, I don't know if they made a NECA figure of that. They made a Baby Shredder, which is another later episode. But in this one, I know the 50-Foot Irma, they tested it on Shredder, and he had that goofy big head in the animation. How'd you like this episode?
Yeah, this episode was more on the funny side because with all the shenanigans that happened with Giant Irma, and overall, it's a pretty cool episode. I mean, Irma is really clumsy in this episode, like knocking buildings over almost, and stuff like this. And in the end, she can't take her bill because she needs ice cream to swallow it like a little kid. So, but overall, it's a fun episode. I like it.
Yeah, this is probably this is like, well, I mean, a little bit of season 4, I think, aired during the afternoons, but season 3, wasn't this always on, I'm not sure of your time out there, Chris, but for me, it was always like around 3, 4, 5 o'clock, like right before dinner time. This is when season 3 was just on every single day of the week, Monday through Friday.
Oh, yeah. I gotta say, over here, at the start when it first premiered, it was always on Saturdays, because Saturdays were always the cartoons on. But later in reruns, it was always on Monday through Friday, and it was always in the afternoon, but on a different channel. It's a bit complicated, but yeah.
Okay, very good. No, that's how what that I for me it was cool because I had them in the morning before school and after school. So it was pretty much just turtle. And this is before, folks. For those who don't know, we didn't have TiVos, or we had VHS tapes where we could record. But pretty much, if you weren't there watching it live, you missed out. And nowadays, everybody is I would say spoiled because they get full seasons. All we had were a couple of VHS tapes, and going forward, now this is actually one of my top 10 episodes I ranked in an earlier podcast. If you guys ever want to check that out on Spotify and YouTube at Shellonomics. The Maltese Hamster. David Wise comes back to write this one. This is heavily involved with the trench coats, which makes you feel like you're in the movie. Donatello gets the spotlight. All the turtles get captured except for Don. Even Splinter gets captured. How did you like this one as a kid, Christian?
I love this episode. It's a fantastic episode. It's kind of different because with the whole inner monologue of Donatello with the in the background, it's very how should I put it? Very cinematic in a way, because it's also very dramatic. As you said, the turtles and Splinter were captured, and the gangs working for Shredder. I mean, Shredder only appeared in this episode at the end. The turtles were fighting the what was his name? Tony the Butcher Vivaldi and his gang. And yeah, it's a very different episode, and I love it for this because it is so, I don't know, kind of serious in a way. I mean, it had its goofy moments, but overall, it's as you said, it's maybe one of the very best of the whole series.
I agree. Just because it took place more at nighttime, just one by one the turtles get captured. Excellent storyline. Yeah, I think it was really cool because we got a breath of fresh air. We didn't really see Shredder until the end. So like, it was like, who is he working for? I mean, you kind of know it was what they were working for Shredder, but yeah, I really enjoyed this one. And then this next one here is one of my favorites because I had this. Did you guys get the Burger King Kids Club VHS tapes out by you when they ran that promotion for Turtles?
No, we didn't have this. Not as far as I know. But
Okay.
I have this episode. I have this episode on the Sky Turtles. I have it on VHS. It was one of the very first VHSs that I had of Turtles. And so, yep, this is one of the episodes I watched over and over and over again as a kid. I I remember like everything about it.
Same
And yeah, it's a fun episode. How should I put it? In the German dub, when everything started to fly and buildings start to fly near the end and stuff like this, there was a scene in the German dub when the turtles they were like, everything starts to flying and the things up here are getting bigger and bigger. I I don't know. Can I swear on your podcast?
Yeah, you're okay. Yeah, you're okay. It's okay. Yeah.
Honestly, I'm gonna shock you now because the turtles in the German dub said in the scene, the things are up here are getting bigger and bigger. And Michelangelo said, shit, then they're getting more expensive. I'm
Wow.
not joking.
In a kid show. That's really, I mean, that's kind of cool in a sense. Again, if it's once in a while, I don't think it's bad. Oh, wow. So we literally said, oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
We
funny.
had in the German dub, we had swear words once in a while.
Wow, kind of like an anime. I mean, that's okay. I mean, kids are gonna hear it eventually.
Yeah.
I also had this one. This was it was my second Burger King Kids Club. I had this one as well. I liked it because Michelangelo. It was very smart by them because remember they really couldn't use his nunchuck, so they had him go in slow motion. So all he did was throw him, and it wasn't really even any use because the foot soldiers just shot him down. But again, season 3 to me still the comedy even still holds up. They're at the ladies' dress shop and Rocksteady and Bebop pop in. Boy, a ladies' dress shop, Bebop. Gee, I've never been in one before.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
man.
a great.
Yeah, I encourage everybody. Yeah, if you guys are listening here, I encourage y'all to check that one out someday. That's a good classic. Now this old switcheroo one. This one's kind of interesting. Can you walk us through this one? This one I would say is kind of a cool one too.
Fun fact here: the old switcheroo was the very first episode of the cartoon that I've ever seen. Because I remember that my father brought home the VHS with this episode on it, and it was the very first episode that I've ever seen, and I was hooked. In this episode, Splinter and Shredder, they switch bodies, and yeah, and each one has to act like the other one so that the other team does not suspect that they are the different one. Sounds more confusing than it is right now. But yeah, I thought it was a pretty cool episode. Splinter as Shredder, Shredder as Splinter. The whole Splinter was, Shredder was in Splinter's body, and so Splinter was acting so evil. I mean, just the looks he gave, the turtles were like, "Whew, Splinter is a little angry."
And he ate the pizza too, remember? He ate the pizza.
Yeah, that was the part when the turtles were thinking, something's wrong here. But yeah, still one of my favorites. Also had some pretty cool fight scenes where the turtles were fighting Bebop, Rocksteady, in the alley, for example. Yeah, it's a really good episode.
Yeah, season 3 as a whole, I would say is like the last, like for me again, if you're ranking, is like the last like full good one. The other seasons have a couple spots here and there where there's a couple episodes I would say that have a high replay value, but season 3 to me was just because this is like this is like Turtle Prime pretty much, Turtle Mania, where like you say the demand was out there for all these episodes, and I give all these writers credit, and like you say the animators, yes, there's tons of mistakes. You'll see Michelangelo talking when Raphael's got the mouth moving and vice versa, but this is a fantastic season, and we're going to continue with great episodes here with Burns Blues. I thought this one was great. The action's cool. You had SNK, I believe, which was the evil corporate team that was trying to, what were they doing here again, Christian? It was something with ice, right? It was Nutrifreeze?
Yeah, they were. SNK was Shredder and Krang, and they were stealing the freeze chemicals from all the ACs for the Technodrome. And that was the start of the episode, and we had this kind of weird B-plot with Byrne and Vernon when they're trying to get a story with the turtles, and they were caught like by some gangsters, and in the end they were abducted by some aliens. As you remember, the Elvis aliens.
Yes.
It was so weird.
Martian invaders, and Byrne idea. Oh, it's true, and for some, yeah, that's right. Yes, for kids. So this is one where adults probably may have appreciated this one too, because it's pretty much like they're going into dark alleys, and there's like these gangsters and mafia type like members who are trying to torture people to talk, and instead of pulling out a gun, they just pull out a little feather and they just tickle you to death, which could be quite torturous too if you've ever been stuck and tickled to death before. Usually a family member would do that to me when I was a kid. Just go for the foot or the arm or your neck, and if you're stuck there, it could be torture.
Absolutely.
Oh man! All right, moving along, right, guys. Now we've got the fifth turtle, which thank God for NECA, because I'm kind of shocked that Zach, the fifth turtle, did not get a toy growing up. As a kid watching this, I thought it was pretty neat that the turtles had a little kid pretty much who was a fan. He had his own little turtle, like club kid. I think he was like what did he have in his? I know he had his turtle bike, but what else did he have in there that was pretty cool? He had the bandana.
What did he have? He had a bandana. He had like a trash can lid as a shell.
That's right.
And and he used a hockey stick. You remember in the beginning of the episode, he used a hockey stick.
Like a Casey Jones. Yeah, and there was some good action here too. Foot soldiers got involved. It was funny too how the foot soldiers get thinner and thinner as the episodes go on, because in the beginning there was like a huge army of them, and they don't get used as much. And the running gag here too so far is, which I kind of like in season 3, is just a continuous bout of Krang and Shredder are looking for power. And if you stick around to the end of this video, you'll find out if you've never seen season 3, if they actually do succeed in getting that power they need. So Another good episode. And then we go into Enter the Rat King. Now, Rat King, I believe, was voiced by Townsend Coleman, right? The voice of Michelangelo?
Yes, sounds about right. Yeah.
Oh,
And
this
this
another
is
good
Enter
one.
the Red King. This is first off, I love the Red King. I love the Red King in every version. And this is the very first episode with no Shredder and Krang, where this is the first episode with a different bad guy, the Red King. And yeah, he, in my opinion, has a very strong start here. He's a very creepy, he's very mysterious. I mean, we never find out who is he really, where does he come from. He's just this guy living in the sewers, controlling rats, trying to take over the world. And yeah, as I said, I love the Red King.
I thought it was a great episode too, and he captured some of the Channel 6 news team, including April. Another question, just because you are, again, guys, I hope you check out Christian's channel as well on Spotify. He also is on Instagram. You're much more into the comics than I am. Was this the debut of the Rat King character, or was he in the comics first?
He was in the comics first.
Okay.
His debut was in Tales of the TMNT by Mirage Comics, but it was very close. If I remember correctly, his debut in the comics was like 1 year before here in the cartoon, so it's pretty close to each other.
Okay.
But yeah.
I love him. He's so many good alterations. I know they don't call him the Rat King in the 2003 show, but my God, is he scary in that show. Can you imagine now? Another cool thing too is actually, I don't know if you're familiar with this, but in the video games, if you ever have time to check out the Michael Bay Ninja Turtles video game, there is a Rat King boss fight in there. I think he would have made a really cool character in the Michael Bay movies, especially like they were underground and how he does these big turtles. And it'd be almost cool if it was similar to Wrath of the Rat King in season 8, where he has those gigantic rats. Could you imagine that in a Michael Bay movie? The turtles are fighting these humongous rats.
Yeah, that would have been pretty cool, I think.
Yeah, I think that would have been a very, very intense battle. So we go from there to this is one I always thought, if I'm as a kid, I tried recommending my teachers to show it, but there was no VHS tape of this because when we were all studying dinosaurs at the time, Turtles at the Earth's Core. How did you like this one?
Hey, as a kid, I loved dinosaurs. I loved turtles. This was a match made in heaven. It was such a cool episode with the turtles meeting dinosaurs. I mean, it's kind of a cartoon trope, one way or another. Back in the day, the main characters of a cartoon always had to meet some dinosaurs. That just was the way it was. But I loved it that there were like dinosaurs like this lost land down there. And yeah, but overall, I mean, I remember there was this mini technodrome that Krang built down there, and the dinosaurs attacking there, and the turtles fighting with Shredder and playing football with this crystal. It's crazy. It's a crazy episode. But hey, dinosaurs always work for me.
Yes, I like yeah, that's right. You had a Triceratops that was coming to bulldoze that Technodrome. Good job you pointed out too, because I think that ended up being a toy too. I think they called it like Scout. If you remember that turtle toy in the vintage line, the little like mini Technodrome you could bring around.
Yeah, I think you mean the Technodrome Scout.
Yeah, the little guy. It almost looks like that baby Technodrome they had in that episode.
Yeah. But it was based on a mini Technodrome that appeared later in the Planet of the Turtleoids episode.
Oh yeah,
there was also this mini Technodrome.
Yes, with Chrome Dome, right? That's the one he's in, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's another good one. All right, where are we heading into? Next, we're going into this. Now, this is a cool one for me. This episode will always be in my memory. So, unfortunately, the day the Ninja Turtles released out here in the States, my dad wanted to take us to a matinee on Saturday, and it was too crowded. So what we did as a backup plan, which was a really cool thing for my dad to do, because he thought of me, my cousin, and my brother, because at the time you couldn't buy tickets in advance at this time. You just had to show up at the theater, and it was packed. So we said, well, guys, I'm sorry, we're not going to see Turtles. But Burger King has turtle tapes there. Why don't I take you guys to Burger King, get some chocolate shakes, and we'll get you a VHS tape. So we got April Foolish from there. I always enjoy this episode. I still think it's really unique how this works. It's almost like a couple spots, even though it's not, they remind me of the first video game because Rocksteady carries April on his shoulder when he captures her and they're bringing her down the elevator. What do you think of this one, Christian?
Yeah, once again, this is an episode that I watched a lot as a kid, and it's a fun episode. I mean, the story is that April gets confused for a princess, and yeah, the turtles have to save her. The usual stuff. I mean, it's funny because in the end, the turtles save April, but the bad guys, Shredder and gang, escape with the crystal. Once again, a crystal. Somehow, it's always crystals
Yes.
that they use to get some energy. And in the end, Shredder is able to escape with the crystal, so he succeeds. But in the end, he doesn't because the crystal explodes, and yeah, that's the end of it.
Which is pretty funny. That's right. So that's the second time where the bad guys technically win because in our last episode, guys, we brought that up in the Incredible Shrinking Turtles. The bad guys won. They had a part of the crystal, and like you said again, of course, it's a crystal. Yes, I always was shocked with that too. It's was always funny in a lot of cartoons. They do that, like, hey, the bad guys finally win, but somehow they can't still win, so it just blew up. So all that work for nothing, and Shredder just goes, "So sue me," to make fun of Crane because he was telling him the same thing earlier.
Yeah,
Oh
that was a
gosh.
good one.
Yeah, and then this next one. So, where was Attack of the Big Mac? Were they making fun of like the Johnny Five is Alive robot movies that we grew up with, or where did the Big Mac idea come from?
Uh, Totally. In
Short
my opinion,
circuits,
this
right?
episode is a yeah. In my opinion, this episode is a parody of Short Circuit. I mean, we have this military robot but it is peaceful, but bad guys want to use him, so it's totally the same story. I mean, isn't there even a scene when Mac like starts talking to a camera because he thinks that it is his brother, number 5, or something like this?
Yes, that's right. You did. Yes, exactly. You're right. They did pay homage to that spot. That's right.
Totally. But I loved Mac. Honestly, I loved Mac. I'm once again, I'm surprised that they never brought him back. He was a cool character. He was
Yeah.
very enjoyable.
No, I liked them too. And what also I thought was kind of funny was the turtles are not good readers. Can you believe they said that in the kid episode? Christian? Remember that spot when they go from the library? It's like great ninjas, yes. Great readers, no, because they went to the library to do some research.
Yeah, when Mac asks them, "Where's the next library?" and the turtles like each point into different directions, like, "Oh, yeah, we have no idea." I mean, it's also at the start of the episode, I always thought that this was interesting that they brought this up in this episode when in the beginning, Mac appeared on Earth and the military immediately starts shooting at him.
Yeah,
And Mac says, "Oh, they start shooting at things they don't understand. So this must be Earth." Like, whoops.
you got that right. There's a lot of other good comedic spots. I think he shoots the what like the. I think Raphael says something about what's the line? I'm drawing a little bit of a blank. It's about the hearts with underwear where Max shoots the guy's clothes off, and Raphael says something. Yeah, I have the same feeling about underwear with hearts on them.
Yeah, something like this.
Something like that.
And And in this episode, we also have a cameo by A-Stuck, if you remember. He was on
Yes.
TV for like 2 seconds.
It's the A Stuck Film Festival, and it's correct. Yeah, there's a lot of good spots in this one. It's another fun one to watch. And then when they go to the library, I just love the delivery of whoever the voice actor is. He's like inputting data and having a wonderful time doing it. He's just so excited to be there. I just like the way they deliver that line. Oh, and then we
Yeah,
go
Max is
into.
great.
I actually I don't know if you have these, Chris, but I just bought the NECA. I guess they sold out again, but it was like the baby turtles called the accessory edition, and I actually have a Mac
Mm,
figure. He came with it, so it's pretty cool.
yeah, I've
I
seen
actually brought
that.
that up. He's a sharp figure too. They did a real good job with him.
Great. I've seen that. I think it looks great.
Yeah, and let's go into another unique episode here. How about take us through the Ninja Sword of Nowhere? I had some good action in this one.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the whole thing with the mysterious sword that can cut through reality is pretty cool. They recently brought this whole story up in the Saturday Morning Adventures. There was a storyline where Shredder tried to get another sword like this, but overall, this episode, yeah, it's fun. It has some good comedic bits. The animation is good in this one, gotta say. Um, yeah, overall, it's just a fun episode. Pretty cool episode. Shredder uh, kidnaps Splinter, and it brings him into this world between worlds. Um, yeah, also something that I just wanted to know more about it. What is this world? Where does this come from? What does it mean? It's like such a mystery behind it. But yeah, they never visited. But overall, a fine episode. And in the end, yeah, this alien chunk hunters appeared and took the sword with them, and that's the end of it.
And another fun fact is Splinter says "Kawabunga" on his way down back to Earth.
Yeah.
So another fun little tip. I'm glad me and you are very knowledgeable in these episodes to give these our listeners some fun facts. All right, so we go from that one to it's almost just a weird one, but kind of funny. I think it's Vern Thompson's birthday in this one. I think he turns 50. This is 20,000 Leagues Under the City. You remember this one?
Yeah, absolutely. And this episode, we see Burns' girlfriend Tiffany again.
Yes.
I mean, just for a short moment, but apparently back then they were still together, even though they broke up at the end of Return of the Shredder. But okay, they're back together. Good for them.
Yes.
But yeah, so the story is pretty much that the whole city gets flooded, and yeah, because Shredder and Krang want to flood out the turtles, but yeah, the turtles are, well, turtles, so they can swim, so that does not work. But then, yeah, Shredder gets a big squid under his control and tries to attack the turtle with this, but yeah, surprise, it does not work.
Yeah. Exactly. So, it's another one. Like I say, if you're a diehard fan, it's fun. But yeah, you could probably skip this one if you needed to. But it is, like I say, if you're a diehard fan, it's still worth the watch. All right. Again, it looks like here, according to our website, this is another good episode. And of course, you know why it's a good episode? David Wise is involved. Take Me to Your Leader. This is another one of my favorites of all time. This is a top 10 for me from the whole series itself. What were your thoughts on Take Me to Your Leader?
I thought that it had some interesting character moments for Leonardo, that he starts to doubt his ability as a leader, and so he leaves the group. And I always thought it was funny that each turtle tried to be a leader. So Raphael is first of the leader, and that does not work. Donatello is the leader, and he's overthinking everything. And in the end, then Michelangelo takes over leader, and he's giving it his best, but it's not working well. And yeah, and Shredder and Krang, they tried to steal the energy from the sun, so it gets colder and it's snowing in the city. And yeah, a crazy episode, but everything works together. So yeah, I like it.
Yeah, that's what I thought was great. You get some good comedic moments again. Raphael brings them up in front of a zoo when they go in. Being, at the time when most of us, were youngins, and I always like Michelangelo. We're being kept after school. There's no teacher around. Just some cool little audio quotes. What else I like? Donatello with "East is that way," where Raphael's like, Don, like you were saying earlier, stop overthinking, just go with it. Michelangelo's leader. So what do you guys want to do? Just some really good funny spots. And I also like spots again. Krang, I believe, makes an appearance. And when they jump out of the building, do you remember Shredder? Have a nice day. And he's got like the happy face on the parachute when they jump down. So see, David Wise still knows how to get some nice comedic tidbits in there too. So just another very, very well done episode. We are blazing through this, guys, right now. I'm having a good time recapping all these. Let's go into another funny one I always liked with Richelieu, the Four Musket Turtles. How'd you like this one?
The Four Musket Turtles. Yeah, this was A cool episode. It's a classic episode. Honestly, it's one of these episodes that apparently everyone seems to remember, that the turtles were dressed up as, well, the Musket Turtles, and yeah, because Leonardo got hit in the head and he thought that he was D'Artagnan, and actually a pretty crazy premise, but it was pretty cool that the turtles, they had to play along with it, and Splinter even had to play along with it, but he was the like the butler
Yes.
of Leonardo, and it's like, yeah, I have to do it, yes sir.
Yep, and they
It
changed
was
it, and
very
they
funny.
changed Leonardo's voice changed a bit, and also this happened in a couple episodes actually. I think the first episode would have been the 20,000 Leagues Under the City. There was no Donatello in this one, right? It was like it almost sounded like the guy from Muppet Babies, Scooter. I was like, wait a minute, why did Donatello's voice change? Remember that?
Oh, did they have a substitute voice in this
Yes,
episode?
yeah, they had a different voice actor.
Oh, oh, I did not remember this.
Yeah,
I mean,
which was very interesting. A couple other spots I just thought was funny was the one joke that we all did as kids with Vernon. You know, he talks about mask, and Raphael says, "Hey, you should take your mask off." And Vernon's like, "Oh, wait, just a minute here." So just some good little jabs there in this episode were great. I don't know why this one makes me laugh all the time, Christian, but when Michelangelo says, "Don't you mean the three mosquitoes?" It's just like, what the hell is he talking about? I always thought that
it's so
spot was
stupid.
great. Yeah, just some random,
Yeah.
just stupid, well-timed comedy in that one. So I always enjoy that one. Some decent fight scenes in there was pretty funny because Leonardo has the hots for Irma, and Irma's like, "Oh my God, how can I? You know, how do I have this weird attraction for all these men right now, and how can I make it last?" Because Shredder and was wanting she thinks that all these guys want a relationship with her, and even Shredder laughs at the idea. I thought that part was pretty funny too.
I always thought that it was weird that Irma doesn't remember Shredder. She doesn't recognize
Yeah,
him, but
that's a
she
good
met him
point too.
before.
That's actually a real good point. Yeah. And what did she say in the episode? This is no way to introduce you to your mother or something like that. I think she says too. She's really thinking that she was pretty much a girl before her time, pretty much before all the people getting speed dating and fast dating.
Yeah,
Moving way too
absolutely.
fast there, Irma. Oh gosh! And now another. I always thought this one was interesting here. Turtles everywhere. How'd you like this one with all the turtles from everywhere, literally?
Yeah, absolutely. It's pretty. Yeah, it's a cool episode when Shredder reprograms all these dump trucks to capture turtles, but they capture all the turtles, not only the Ninja Turtles kind. And yeah, this scene where this room is filled with turtles, and Shredder is like, "No, not this turtles! I wanted the Ninja Turtles!" And yeah, overall, it's a cool episode. I always thought, yeah, I always remember this scene. I always thought it was funny when the turtles try to get into um, the dump factory,
Yes.
and the turtles tried to get in with the ropes, and then they were attacked, and Leonardo accidentally cut the ropes with his katana, and the turtles was just standing there in the air like Wile E. Coyote, like, that was great, but you cut our ropes. Wah! I always thought that it was funny. Yeah.
Oh, it was good. And password, we don't need no stinking password. Stinking is the correct password to get into the building.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to bring up that spot too. Yeah, it's another good comedic episode. This is one that anybody I know who loved the Turtles and Turtle Mania loves this wacky episode. So tell us how good James Avery, the voice of Shredder, did in this episode coming up next. Cowabunga Shredhead.
Hey, Cowabunga Shredded is a fan favorite as far as I know, and it's totally okay that it is, because it's a great episode when Shredder by accident thinks that he is Michelangelo, and James Avery really delivers in this episode. Like, he's Shredder acting as Michelangelo. Fantastic. It's such a funny episode, but yeah, but the episode is kinda, how should I put it? It's kinda dark in a way that it's taking place mostly at nighttime. So it's, I don't know, a little bit dramatic, a little bit more dramatic, but still so funny when Shredder's acting like Michelangelo. And I one thing I think is funny or weird is that when Shredder turns into Michelangelo, he straight up walks to the turtles' lair to bring them some pizza. So does Shredder know where the turtles live, or how does he know how to get? I mean, he thinks that he's Michelangelo, but somehow this information must come from somewhere. I thought it was weird, but I'm probably overthinking it.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's hard. The more seasons we get into, folks, as me and Christian continue this series, the zanier this gets, and it's going to be even harder for us to explain logic from time to time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but this is if anybody who is not familiar with Turtle Mania, if you grew up with the Michael Bay Turtles or the newer movie that came out a couple years ago, if you want to see what Turtle Mania was all about, just watch this episode and you'll learn about all the cowabungas and everything you need to know, especially even about pizza, because Michelangelo craves pizza no more. There's actually a funny somebody, I don't know who, but they put a YouTube video up there, Christian, of him just saying, "I crave pizza no more," and it's on repeat. So I guess if there is some pizza addict out there, maybe that'll help you get that pizza addiction down. Splinter's Kung Pao.
Oh, jeez, this is like a 1 hour version.
Yeah,
Oh, boy.
pretty much. That's all it is. He just says that for a full hour.
Oh, boy.
And here we go. I could be wrong here if you want to comment on our YouTube when this gets released, but I believe Invasion of the Turtle Snatchers, I think that was another Burger King VHS tape. I know I had this one as a kid at my grandma's, my grandparents' trailer house in Wisconsin, like a little coach house. I always used to watch this because it was the only turtle thing out there. I thought this was a pretty cool, and this is where they go for fishing. Can you walk us through the difference between what Shredder says and what Bebop and Rocksteady think they're going after?
Yeah, in the German dub, because I know that he's like they're looking for the fission reactor, and they think that they're going fishing. But this joke does not work in German.
Oh, it doesn't? So what happens? That's why I love
they worked around it, like, go looking for the fission reactor. But where, boss? I don't know. Look in the water or something. And then they go fishing. So they like worked around the pit. But yeah, overall, this is like the alien episode. Like aliens come visit Earth, and I always thought that it was weird that in this episode, when April comes to Burn and she's like, I want to report on these aliens, and Burn's like, yeah, aliens, like something like this exists. In Burn's Blues, you saw aliens. You know that aliens exist.
Oh yeah, there's some funny stuff. They make great coffee. I like it because I always enjoyed Bebop got to take control from it. Do you remember that spot too in the episode where Bebop was in charge of the foot soldiers because Splinter and Shredder get transported away?
Yeah, right. And so yeah, I mean, Krang could also go up there and help, but no, Bebop, you can do it. Yeah, right. But yeah, it's cool that the aliens, they were called Klaatu, Barada, and Nikto, like the day the Earth stood still.
Oh yes, very good observation there.
Yeah, and yeah, it was pretty cool. And in the end, we had because they were searching for this toy that the kid left behind on Earth, and it turned out to be like something like the monolith from 2001. So there were so many sci-fi tropes thrown into there. It's great. It's great.
Yeah, it's hardcore parodies. Like I said, we went from RoboCop in season 2 and some other spots all the way to they continue. And even when our next episode, Camera Bug, after the Polaroid camera, the Polarisoids were coming. So, did you like this one? I thought this one was quite comical. I thought this one was still pretty funny.
Yeah, I always thought that the bit when the turtles and everyone were caught in the camera and they had to like find their way out of it. I thought that this was pretty cool. Like this world inside the camera, like they fell through a wall and suddenly they were somewhere else. Like yeah, like they were taking pictures, but it was like everything was inside this camera world at the same time. I thought it was pretty cool. It had some, I don't know, Inception feeling to it. It was, yeah, a pretty enjoyable episode. And the Polaroid, I mean, wasn't the smartest because he let Shredder take a picture of himself.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
yeah,
Oh yeah,
it's a fun episode.
yeah. I mean, I always, as a kid, I remember Michelangelo doing the shadow puppets with the great big dog, woof woof, and the little birdie with the shell. Like, oh, cool. So I actually did that next day at school because back, I don't, in our day, we didn't really have PowerPoints. We had the old projector screen, and the teacher would just put a piece of paper on like an old projector, and it would show up on the screen. So yeah, people always in the back would do like those little birds and stuff. So I thought that was pretty funny. It was very relatable to
Yeah,
kids, those little things. All right, what do we got
yeah,
next here?
absolutely.
We've got this one's kind of a weird one. Maybe you want to watch this one for Valentine's Day. Green with Jealousy. How'd you like this random episode? This was way off. This is where it started getting really, really kooky.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, because of a love potion, all the turtles except for Donatello fall in love with Irma, and Rocksteady falls in love with April, and it's just crazy. And so this whole thing with Irma was so weird. Like the turtles, they sent her all these presents, and in the end, she shows up in this wedding dress, getting ready to, yeah, to be a bride. And then the turtles like, "Oop, that was us." And they're like, "No, not the turtles." And yeah, it's fun. It's a funny episode, but yeah, it's a little bit strange.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if any listeners here, but Michelangelo, if you ever want to call the girl you're dating Babe or Hottie or whatever, you can try Hang 10 Honey Bunch. That's what Michelangelo put on the card he wrote Irma. Oh gosh, where are we heading next? All right, here comes an episode I always thought was pretty good because it was on a VHS tape. How about Return of the Fly? We finally get Baxter Stockman in a comeback here.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to have Baxter back, and in this episode, we also have the return of the Red King.
Yes.
So yeah, there's lots. There's a lot going on with Baxter, Shredder, Beyond Rocksteady, Krang, the Red King. But yeah, it's a pretty cool episode. Like Baxter tries to get revenge for everything that happened to him, but this is the moment, like in the last episode when we talked about season 2, when I said that as a flies, Baxter is getting more and more stupid. We see it here because at first Baxter's like, I want to get revenge on the turtles and Shredder. But then Shredder's like, it wasn't me, it was all the turtles. And Baxter's like, I think you're right. So, okay. And so, yeah. And the Red King in this episode even helps the turtles. So this is like, okay, he's a neutral character, sort of, kind of.
Yeah, pretty cool. And Bebop, and then just for comedic purposes, Bebop and Rocksteady are watching therapy tapes.
Yeah. Oh, that was also something.
Yeah. It's like, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't work. But just as a kid, you remember these goofy, silly things. I'm going to hit your big pale head. And then here we go again. David Wise saves the day to make sure we get a good action-packed comedic episode. Casey Jones, Outlaw Hero. Again, probably one of the better episodes. We get to finally get our homeboy Casey in here, who's just a crazy dude who had some bone-chilling delivery in these episodes too. So, can you walk us through the Casey Jones Outlaw Hero episode, Christian?
Yeah, man, finally we get Casey Jones. I always thought it was weird that in the classic cartoon, Casey was like in 5 episodes. When he was in the original comics, in Mirage Comics, he was a main character. It's kind of weird, but finally we get Casey, and yeah, he's crazy. He's really crazy. Pat Fraley as his voice actor is fantastic, and he's doing his best Dirty Harry impression. And yeah, Casey is, yeah, amazing. I love Casey, even though he is, yeah, crazy.
Yeah, we laugh.
And
I laugh my ass. For our Twitch streams, I have a guy who's known as Casey Jones, a good friend of ours, and just we have one of the commands is exclamation Scuzz Bucket, where Casey Jones says, "How'd you like to see for yourself, Mister Scuzz Bucket?" Just all these. I know it's in a different episode that line, but just all his goofy lines. And there's actually a really cool fan-made game I would like to point out for you guys if you are listening to this, and maybe I don't know if you like playing fan-made games, Christian, but this one is called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2: The Arcade, Recolored and Extended. And you actually get to play as Casey Jones, and it's basically this episode included, and it plays off the Ninja Turtles 2 arcade Nintendo game. I have a playthrough up on our YouTube channel if anybody wants to check it out of a full playthrough. But it is awesome, and the reason I bring that up is because I always had chills at the end of this episode because they talk about Casey Jones, and it's like, you are gone, and you're like, somehow I have a feeling we'll see him again. And then Casey Jones, somehow I have a feeling he's right. And I was like, whoa! And I thought that was just cool, man. This badass, outlaw hero dude, pretty much just running the show. And he's going after the big boss man. He goes after Shredder he goes after Krang instead of Shredder, because we get what was called a super knucklehead, I think, right?
Yeah, because we had the Knucklehead in the season 2 episode Enter the Fly.
Yes.
So now he gets the Super Knucklehead, which is like a bigger version of it. Yep. And Krang is riding it. Krang is in the action here. Once again, something unusual. But yeah, always welcome.
Always good, and then just a comedic purpose, just for some reason where just because again, this is just David Wise with good comedy, where they're driving a turtle van with the bug, and Raphael goes, "Go, Donatello, go straight." "Yes, Raphael. Are you sure?" "Sure, I'm sure." And then he keeps driving off the road, and then he's like, "What the heck happened? You ran us off the road. That's what happened."
Yeah, it's like nowadays when people are just listening to their navigator devices while driving in the car. So go straight. Okay, I always go straight, but then they're stuck somewhere.
Yes, exactly. Oh man, and this is probably not to be probably my least favorite episode of the series. It was a part of I think it was a part of the Rocksteady Mighty Bebop VHS. I really wish we could have got a different episode on the VHS because we only had limited amount of viewing episodes as children. We did not get DVDs as kids with the full series or seasons. Mutagen Monster, did you like anything about this episode? I mean, I think this is one we could do without, but is there anything you like in this one?
Yeah, I mean the whole story is pretty simple. It's like this mutant bull creature that's not ground shark, but it's a giant mutant bull that's causing chaos. That's the whole story overall. But I still think there are some funny bits in there. Like I remember the scene when the bull was inside this China shop and it destroyed everything. And then it left, and Mikey sees like this little cup that's still not broken, and throws it to the ground. Like, hey, it doesn't matter. Everything's broken. Yeah, and it's overall a funny little episode, but the story is nothing special.
Yeah, it just made no sense. Like they have two bulls, and then it goes back to one bull. I mean, if they would have just kept it at two, it's kids. You're not really supposed to pick it. You're supposed to just enjoy it. But just again with the logic, this was one that was like, I could probably deal without this one. But I guess like you say, they probably had a contract or X amount of episodes. So like, well, we're running out of ideas, and like you can't really have them fight Shredder in every episode because how are you gonna, the action sequences would get kind of dull. But anyways, we come back. I thought this was kind of interesting. I think they did this with, yes, they did do this with Usagi Yojimbo as well with his 2 episodes. Instead of having the Casey Jones ones back to back, Casey Jones comes back right away, really quick though, in Corporate Raiders from Dimension X. This is one of my, again, another probably I'd say top 5 besides the Big Break-In miniseries. How'd you like this one, Corporate Raiders from Dimension X?
It's a great episode. We get Casey Jones back, and the Turtles, they are trying to get him into this corporation, Octopus Inc. And this is the funny thing, because in the classic cartoon, Casey never took off his mask. So he's going in there, applying for a job, and he's wearing his mask, but he's wearing a suit. So that's pretty cool. And I thought it was so funny because Casey, as we know, is so aggressive, and he like uses his bat to destroy the table, and the guy's like, I like your attitude, you're hired. Okay. As, this episode is really funny, it's really cool. Casey is back, and yeah, there's nothing to complain about it, I guess.
No, not at all. And that's, like I said, the Scuzz bucket line. And after he gets from that guy, he goes and attacks. I mean, this is something I don't think anybody else would do, but he goes and attacks his manager. One wrong move and you're fired. And he's like, fire this, and swings a bat at his boss. And the manager's like, Mr. Jones, I was only fooling about that. So just this man's rage is just off the charts, and it's hilarious. Yeah, I always like this episode. Again, it's cool because similar to the Maltese Hamster, David Wise gives us another like group of thugs that work for Shredder, but Shredder's not really seen until later. And another good, I think, yeah, this is the same episode where, again, David Wise, tip of the cap to you, rest in peace, friend. Thank you for making these cartoons, because another one that stands out, do you remember where Bebop and Rocksteady are in the office, and then you hear Bebop act busy because the boss is here?
Yeah, hey, I do the same. Oh, the boss is coming. I'm busy. I'm busy.
Exactly. Oh man. Then we go into I guess another bizarre one, but this one actually made VHS tapes. Pizza by the Shred. How'd you like this one with Michelangelo working for Shredder at Weird Pizza to Go?
Yeah, it's a crazy episode, but I would say it's pretty much a classic because, as you said, we had it on VHS. And yeah, Michelangelo is looking for a job, so he starts working at this pizza place, and the pizza place is run by Shredder, but they don't see each other. It's pretty weird. So they don't realize that it is each other. And yeah, so Mikey, and we get the return of the Starmobile from the Neutrinos, that the Neutrinos left the Turtles way back in season 1.
Yes, that is correct.
So yeah, it's I think it's a cool episode, and once again, the Red King is back in this episode.
Give me back my pizza. He gets all mad, and Shredder takes the pizza, and Shredder's like, where's the turtle? Plus, we get some, I mean, again, the fight scenes are kind of hokey, but I thought it was cool where they had all the foot soldiers come in, and then they try to use the skateboard, the hang 30. The ending spot was kind of funny too. Just if anybody hasn't seen this episode, yes, I'd like you to at least watch the last 2 minutes, because James Avery, this is probably one of the more funniest spots in the series, with Shredder's scream, because Bebop's like, oh boy, four-wheeler drive, because they steal the Starmobile, and then you hear Shredder, yeah! He is just terrified because he's holding onto the back of the car as Bebop flies into outer space, and no air brakes.
Yeah.
Oh, and here we go. Here, this is the one here with two toys that I never had as kids, but they're still valuable collectibles. I would actually, it's kind of funny now. If anybody is making a video game, these guys, I don't believe were in Shredder's Revenge, but I'd love to fight these guys in a video game. How'd you like Super Bebop and Mighty Rocksteady? Stomp Toidles, Stomp Toidles.
Oh, yeah, I gotta say, it's kind of a classic with the robotic Bebop and robotic Rocksteady. They were pretty cool. Like, they were causing some trouble for the Turtles, and I always loved the scene when the Turtles tried to get into Channel 6, but Super Bebop and Mighty Rocksteady, they were guarding the place. And the Turtles, this whole scene when like, how should we get in? And Donnie's like, I don't know, but the writers will think of something. And then they start climbing the building, but robotic Bebop, robotic Rocksteady attack the building, and the Turtles fall down, and Donatello looks at the camera. That was a stupid idea, writer. This was always one of the funniest scenes in the whole series for me.
It's always nice when you have those little spots, and they still laugh at you too, because it just touches the inner child in you as you get older. Those little spots. Weird spots though. Again, just with this is one where the Shredder and they should have won, but the humans were. It's just my buddy always likes so Shredder had some sort of like crystal, right? Or it was like they were trying to make the human zombies, right? Where you command, I obey, and they went from like zombies to what was it, dogs? I think they were barking as dogs. They were monkeys. Were there anything else in this one? I forget.
And then they turned into little kids.
Yes, that's right.
And
They
yeah,
wanted
it
milk and
was,
cookies. That's right. Vernon with his milk
yeah,
and cookies.
crazy. Yeah, Bernard crying, I want my milk and cookies. I want to watch cartoons.
Yes, that's right. Vernon just like getting all mad. That's right. That's right. Oh man, and here we go. Here's a guy who actually wrote for Captain Planet, Doug Molitor. Beware the Lotus. Awesome episode. Thanks to this episode, Lotus actually makes a return and is actually in Shredder's Revenge. I thought this character was great. What are your thoughts on and Beware the Lotus?
Yeah, Lotus Blossom, she only appeared in one other episode. I always thought that she was a cool addition to the story. A female ninja, I like it. She was pretty cool. In this way, she even precedes Karai, because Karai only came into the whole story way later, like years later. So she was the first female ninja in the turtle multiverse. And yeah, I thought it was funny that Krang actually fired Shredder in this one and then hired Lotus as a replacement. And yeah, so Shredder tried to pit the turtles against Lotus in a way. It's a pretty cool episode. It's a pretty smart episode in a kind of way, with also some funny bits here and there. Yeah.
Shredder's in a chicken suit. I just like we say, I really do enjoy talking to you. It's always nice to get another super fan's perspective on the comedic moments. Whatchamacallit, there's two spots I always bring up in this one is we'll do the serious ones first, where you thought Splinter was actually going to die, because when they went to commercial here in the States, Krista, was this rat goes splat. And you're like, what? They're gonna drop Splinter? I mean, they pretty much won. They had it. They had Splinter. I mean, Lotus kicked butt. She did what a man couldn't do. Pretty much, she got the turtles, and they were supposed to lose. But Shredder does some goofy shenanigans and ends up getting back to his marriage. As they say, an old married couple, Shredder and Krang get back together again, and the turtles live happily ever after. What I like about this one though is where Bebop, Rocksteady, and Shredder are at like some old, I don't know, like a Motel 5 or Motel 6, and the manager's making fun of them for coming dressed up in chicken suits, and then they're watching the fight on the TV, and Shredder's like, someone smash someone, and then the guy turns off the TV, and then Shredder's like, "Rah!" And he's like, okay, I'll turn it back on. I thought that was pretty funny.
Oh yeah, that was great.
Where do we head to next then? We are crushing here, guys. We are going through these episodes, and I hope you guys are enjoying this. Be sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and at Shellonomics, and check out our friend as well, Christian's channel. Here we go. Blast from the Past. Again, David Wise at it again. This is a nice little homage for those who are new to the series. Can you walk us through this one? Blast from the Past with Shibano Sama.
Yeah, I mean, this, you could call this the only clip show of the whole series, because Splinter loses his memory, because Shredder summons Shibano Sama, the founder of the Foot Clan, the ghost of the founder of the Foot Clan, and through this all, Splinter loses his memory, and the turtles have to tell him everything, where they come from, and we all get these clips from the first season, like where the turtles come from, who is Shredder, Krang, etc. And yeah, because Shredder wants to turn Bio and Rocksteady into super ninjas, and for this he wants to use Shibano Sama's magic. So the turtles have to stop him, but first they have to bring Splinter up to date, and Raphael stays back to have an eye on the bad guys, but more or less he gets beaten up by Bio and Rocksteady, or used as a training dummy. But overall, it's you could call it a clip show, and clip shows are not that entertaining most of the time, because everything you see you already know. But overall, the main story, I think, is pretty cool.
Yeah, because usually, like you say, it's near the end of a series run where you do those flashbacks of like a Full House, like where that season was coming to an end, or Home Improvement. It's like, oh yeah, it's take a look back or Fresh Prince, you go through clips of flashbacks. But I thought it was okay with David Wise. I don't know if he was wanting to pay homage to that or whatnot, but we also get the Three Stooges Curly maneuver. You know, if you're a Three Stooges fan, how can you not like that spot?
Yeah, I almost forget this, like the mysterious Curly maneuver, and in the end, it's just a Three Stooges sketch, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, especially with Splinter pulling it off. So here we go. And one of my favorites coming up now, Jim Cummins by Gumbo, and one of the best. And I'm going to steal your word here, classic for sure. This is my favorite. I guess look of Leatherhead. I always dug this with the hat, the red hat, and the design of him standing up. How did you like Leatherhead Terror of the Swamp?
Hey, we get Leatherhead, we get the return of the Punk Frogs. What's not to love about it? It's a fantastic episode, I guarantee. And yeah, Leatherhead is pretty cool here. Once again, he first appeared in the classic Mirage comics, but here he's different. He's a bad guy here, and yeah, he works together with Shredder for a while, and there's this whole storyline with this fountain of youth, and in the end, Shredder falls into it and turns into a little baby. That was pretty funny, but yeah. Pretty good start for Leatherhead, I gotta say, for this series. Yeah, I like it. I like Leatherhead.
He trapped all the turtles. I thought it was good. It was cool seeing the Punk Frogs again. True, good point, good bring up there. And yeah, this is one I like. Now here's an interesting one. This is according to Wikipedia here with some little research. So a lot of people say this is probably the worst episode of all time. But my favorite Ninja Turtle is Michelangelo. I watch this episode every November 29th on my birthday. I've been doing that for well over 20 plus years. Michelangelo's birthday. It says here the story was by Bill Wolf. Did you know that? I did not know that.
No, did not know this.
Wow.
But I gotta say, I would not say that this is the worst episode of the series.
Same here.
I mean, it has its problems. The whole thing, the whole thing that Mikey leaves the group because he thinks that the others forgot his birthday. I mean, if you start thinking about it, how do the turtles know when their birthday is? Because they were little baby turtles back then. I don't know. But yeah, it had some funny bits. I mean, I always thought that the end was kind of weird when Shredder used this anti-mutagen on the turtles and they like blew up like balloons. First weird thing. Yes. But Splinter is able to save them with the power of mothballs. Okay, what's going on
here? For those who don't have the blind love birthday here, with Michelangelo being your favorite turtle, yes, the mothballs thing. Yeah, with mothballs, even Donatello doesn't understand because he talks back to Splinter. A lot of very bizarre stuff. What's cool was the Flush-O-Matic was here. I believe that was also a Playmates toy, like that little thing that dropped the goo. That was featured here. Decent. I mean, fight scenes weren't the greatest. Some good funny spots, though, with Krang. My horoscope said this be my lucky day, just to play along with the birthday stuff. Bebop and Rocksteady steal bikes from children. I mean, they don't show how they do it, but I thought that was great instead of that, and then this is this part always stands out for me, just like Power Rangers with Lord Zed. So there's an episode in Power Rangers, I think it's season 3, where Lord Zed enters the command center and you're all blown away as children. And in this episode, Shredder goes in the turtle van. I thought that was great.
Yeah. Because he was supposed to get the turtles to where Michelangelo was, and so like, okay, Shredder, you come in, but Beer Rocksteady, no, you stay out. No, you not. And that's where the part where they steal the tricycles then from the little kids.
Yes.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yep. And then once again, it seems like anytime there's a very bizarre episode, our buddy David Wise comes back to bring us back down to earth, because next after that is Usagi Yojimbo, which could arguably be, and I would never argue anybody, the best episode of season 3. It's got a lot of violence, a foot soldiers' heads are getting chopped off. Comedic spots are there. Is this one of your top episodes too, Christian?
Oh, it's a great episode. I mean, as you said, we get Usagi in this universe. And hey, Usagi is always a plus for me in every iteration. And yeah, I mean, I did not realize this as a kid, but nowadays I know that Usagi Yojimbo is actually the name of the comic book, and the character's name is Miyamoto Usagi. But he was called Usagi Yojimbo here, and he was brought to Earth, and he fought along with the Turtles. And once again, Shredder in this episode does not get involved in the action. He transports the foot soldiers into New York City, and as you said, Turtles and Usagi fight them. And then there's this whole thing with the dragon that gets awakened. But Shredder does not get involved. He's just an onlooker here. But yeah, strong start for Usagi. And we only get one more episode with Usagi, which is unfortunate because he was great.
Yeah, I don't know why they did that with a lot of these characters. Just 1-2 episodes, and then they just get written off because they had to get more toy plugs. Again, people forget this too. Two things I always point out for trivia here. Well, this is just for fun, and General Trag appears really quick in the beginning of the episode. I thought was great. I always love the General Trag character. For good trivia here, Kristen, you may not know this. I actually, my proud moment in stumping Michelle Ivy, the Turtle super fan, which she may have claimed to know later, but again, it's no knock on her. Just I had a trivia contest on Twitch when I first started streaming. I had a Ninja Turtle trivia, and one of the questions was, what episode is Michelangelo referred to Mikey? He's only referred to Mikey once in this entire run, and it's this episode here, because it's where Michelangelo's ready to fight, and Donnie says, "Forget it, Mikey." It's the only time you hear Mikey in this whole run, and in every other cartoon or movie, Mikey's used multiple times. I always thought that was always a little fun fact in this episode.
Okay, I would not have known that either from the top of my head. I gotta admit it. That's pretty cool.
It's a good stumper right there, and just comedic purposes. Usagi doesn't understand the rabbits that are working at a restaurant, and he figures they're slaves, and he's like, "Fight for your freedom!" And he starts throwing the food at the boss manager. I just, again, David Wise, he always knew where to get the comedic spots and make sure we still had some good action. And now we're not feeling so well, Christian. We're going to the making of Metalhead, where the Turtles have, I believe it was called Turtle Pox, another bizarre episode. What happens in this one?
Yeah, as I said, the Turtles, they're sick, and meanwhile, Krang builds a new robot called Metalhead. Yep, this is the debut of Metalhead in this universe, and he gets programmed with the Turtles' power, with the Turtles' fighting powers. And yeah, he's attacking the Turtles, but Donatello is able to reprogram him, so he becomes a good guy, but later he becomes a bad guy again, and then in the end he starts shooting at everyone. It's pretty crazy, but yeah, it's the first episode with Metalhead, and he only gets one more episode, but only there is like a cameo. So this is his big episode. This is the big episode of Metalhead in this universe. And yeah, I gotta say, he looks pretty much like the toy back then from Playmates Toys. So that's cool.
Yeah, kudos to them. I apologize, guys, if you are trying to catch me. I did jump 2 episodes. We're going to get back to them right away. But Michelangelo, I was just craving a tea and toast pizza. Just some weird random stuff with that episode. So here we go to Kimono Kale. He's your pal. I always enjoyed this. I don't know why, but I always thought this one was cool. Again, I think it's because there's really not much Shredder talk in this one. You get some different thugs. I believe the name is Donter Telly, I believe is the main character.
Yeah.
And I think I want to say he's voiced by, rest in peace, Peter Renaday, the main character. I thought this was a pretty cool one. Can you explain this one a little bit for our viewers here?
Yeah, the episode starts with April's aunt, who is a detective, visiting April, and then they get involved in like this mystery where kimonos get stolen, and it turns out that this guy Don Tortelli who is looking for a special kimono, and spoiler, it's Splinter's kimono that they're looking for. And yeah, the funny thing is that the bad guy is called Don Tortelli, and he's using a feather to torture his victims. As you may remember, we mentioned this already some episodes ago, because Don Tortelli already appeared in the episode Burns Blues, but he looked completely different.
Yes,
I
a lot bigger.
don't know. Yeah. I don't know. Is it the same guy? Is it like
lose weight?
Another guy who's just using the same gimmick?
Yeah. That's a very
I
good
don't
point you
know.
brought up. Yeah, it's another one where I guess they just like the name. Maybe it just runs in the family, like your last name's Gargano, and it's just all the Garganos. Who knows? But that's a
I
very
don't
good
know.
point there. All the Don Tortellis. Yeah, that's a good point there. And yeah, ain't Aggie with like the Scooby Doo type stuff with all the clues.
Yeah. I liked April's End.
Yeah.
She also comes back later,
Yes.
but yeah, she was fun.
Yeah, I enjoyed that one. And then here we go again. So like every other episode, you get a backup, and here comes Usagi Come Home by David Wise. This is another one. Just anything with Usagi was just so well written. It just seemed there was a lot. Didn't it say there was a lot more action in these episodes with a samurai bunny being involved?
It seems like it, because we get a pretty cool fight scene there between Usagi and Shredder. And Shredder tricks Usagi into thinking that Shredder won. I mean, he cheated, of course. So Usagi has to fight the turtles. So we get some, pretty cool fight scenes between the turtles and Usagi. But in the end, it all turns out fine, because Usagi realizes that Shredder is the bad guy. So the turtles and Usagi work together again. And even though the episode is called Usagi Come Home, Usagi does not come home. He's still on Earth. The turtles have still not found a way to bring him back. And it will stay this way, because this is the last episode with Usagi in the series. But in the current run of Saturday Morning Adventures, I know somehow I always mention the current Saturday Morning Adventures.
It's a fabulous read. It's
you
had Sarah,
great.
and on your show, in fact, so didn't you have one of the artists? Right? Didn't you have Sarah on your show?
Not yet. We had some interaction on Insta, but
okay,
I did not have her on the show yet.
Okay.
Maybe sometime in the future. But as I said, in the Saturday Morning Adventures, there was a Usagi Yojimbo special. And in this storyline, they picked up this whole storyline and were finally able to transport Usagi back to his homeworld. So finally, this story was finished, like 30 years later.
Gosh, we finally got closure. One of my favorite lines in the entire series is also here, just in case you're ever down on yourself, is when Usagi says, "I'm sorry, friends, I have to put an end to you." And Raphael comes back with, "That might not be as easy as you think." I always loved that one as a kid. In case you ever get down on yourself, it picks you right back up. It's one of my favorite lines in the entire series right there. And another great episode I encourage all to watch. And the hits just keep on coming. Another really great episode. Leatherhead meets the Rat King. How did you like this one?
Hey, we have an episode with Leatherhead and the Rat King. Hey, that's fantastic. And this Leatherhead comes to New York to take revenge on the turtles, and it's a really funny episode, because Leatherhead then runs into Rat King, and they are both bad guys, but they don't like each other, and they start fighting each other. And yeah, pretty much not much else to it. The turtles get involved because April gets kidnapped by Leatherhead, so the turtles have to save her, and they get involved in this fight between Leatherhead and Rat King. And yeah, of course, they're able to save the day. In the end, Leatherhead swims back to Florida, so everything's back to normal.
Yes, and another note here is Michelangelo's the best turtle when motivated. I always thought the turtles have their own little competition with the 2-on-2, and they're just sitting there getting garbage thrown at them. But eventually, when the garbage from Donatello's device gets on Mikey's pizza, watch out.
Yeah,
Voice
we always
pizza.
knew this.
Yes, exactly. Agreed. Victory, Mount Trashmore is ours. Another awesome quote from the show. And then we've been doing parodies. Why not have Arnold Schwarzenegger here? How about the Turtle Terminator?
Yeah. In this episode, another robot. Shredder uses another robot, the Turtle Terminator, who then turns into Irma and starts attacking the turtles. And I always thought that it was funny when the Turtle Terminator as Irma was working at Channel 6, like typing at the typewriter like crazy, or whenever she hears the word turtles, starts shooting lasers from her eyes, and nobody thought something of it. Um, yeah, and that's, I don't know. That's pretty much it. The Turtle Terminator starts chasing the turtles, but in the end, the turtles defeat her by luring her into like this what's it called, the mirror funhouse, and then she overloads, and that's pretty much the end of it. It's an entertaining episode, even though the animation quality is not the best in this episode, but it has some funny moments.
Oh, yes. What else? Yeah, it's a little weird. Irma's cooking. They order Chinese food because Irma can't cook for the bad guys. It's a little just. I mean, it's kind of silly comedy, a little off the charts, but it is what it is there. And this is. I want to say I could be wrong here, and somebody can go ahead and fact check me. I know Rob Paulson was not involved in season 10, but there was a different voice actor for Raphael in this one. I don't know if you remember that, Christian, but there's a different voice actor for Raphael.
Yeah, you could be right there. Yeah,
For
I
the
think you're right.
Americans. Yeah. And our final VHS tape from the Burger King Kids Club, The Great Boldini. I always thought this one was cool. Our buddy Don Tortelli comes back in this episode. We also get Zach. And we get another character that you have really been spot on for knowing all his cameos here. You must have been really good with the Marvel Universe Stan Lee cameos. Can you walk us through The Great Boldini here for a bit?
Yeah, there's this at the museum. There's Zach, as you said, is back again, and he's brought his friend Caitlin, not his girlfriend, his friend Caitlin. And they are at this museum, and there's this magician called Boldini, and suddenly, mysterious. What's it? Is it a diamond? Or it was the Tortelli.
No, another crystal. I think it was a crystal, right? Kaboom!
It was some kind of gem, yeah.
Yeah, I think. No, it was a gem. It was a gem. You're correct. Yeah, you're right. The gem. Hey, right. Where is my gem? That's right. That's right.
Yeah. And it disappears, and it turns out that Don Tortelli and Boldini, they are cousins, if I remember correctly.
Yes, cousin Boldini.
And they're working together. Yeah, and then the Red King gets involved in the mix, and it's crazy action at the museum, and the turtles get involved, and the turtles, the police thinks that the turtles are behind all this, and this brings us to another very funny scene of this episode that I always remember is when the turtles get caught by the police, and they say something like, do we have to do a strip search now? And Raphael is like, I hope not, this is a kids show. Fantastic.
Yeah, no, this was a good one. Yeah, my memory bank's come back. The Tortellini Emerald. Does that sound right? Is that what it was? I think?
Okay. That was it. Was it.
Very good. As we still got our old memory banks. So yes, this is one of the good ones. I thought you were going to bring up Pat Fraley does a phenomenal job with a side character, Sergeant O'Flaherty, where they're the Teenage Mutant Ninja Leprechauns.
And then Michael starts dancing.
And when he tries to arrest them, it's just a weird slang he uses here. Hold it right there, you wretched larny devils, because I'm Irish, so in the Irish accent a little bit. And Raphael goes, wretched what? So I agree. This is one of the better comedic episodes probably out there, and especially with the strip search. This is a family show. Nice point. Nice point out there. So we go there with another episode of Zach, the missing map. This is written actually by David Wise. I enjoyed this one. It's pretty much Zach, and there's a turtle scrapbook in this one, right?
Yeah, right. Zack brings his brother Walt to the turtles' lair, and the turtles show them like these photos, and they also have this scrapbook with a map inside that shows the way to the turtles' lair. And Walt steals it because he wants to have something for himself, because his brother is like the fifth turtle, and what does he have? And yeah, but Shredder finds out about it and wants to get it from him. Yeah, but yeah, in the end, Walt does the right thing and helps the turtles, and he gets titled the sixth turtle. And then Michelangelo says, "Yeah, so we only have to get a seventh and an eighth turtle, and then we can retire."
Yes,
And
exactly.
that's great.
And I thought he found him. 'Cause I don't know if you have memories like. Well, actually, you did bring up some cool, touchy memories as a kid. I remember this one watching this as a kid right before school, and I'm like, wow, he found the lair, because remember the turtles' lair, like when they used to get lost, was in there, and Shredder says he found it, which they did. This is almost like April Fools, because Shredder thinks he has it because they're in that cannon. And then they give him a map to a wrong lair, and he just falls down like you said earlier, a Wile E. Coyote splat. So again, this
Yeah.
funny logic in there, I guess, to cover it up. It's like, well, he had the map, but Raphael drew a fake one.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's true. And in this episode, there's also the bad guys use the Techno Rover, this vehicle, and I always
yes,
thought it was funny that we never got this from a Playmates toys back then.
that would have actually been a pretty cool toy. I'm surprised they didn't do it. And didn't Zach take over some of the Technodrome too, right? He was in there playing around with all the
Oh
buttons.
yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah, causing chaos.
yes.
Yeah. That was also cool.
Yeah, it was a good spot for us young folk. This one I always enjoyed. This is more with Michelangelo taking the main spot here, and Shredder known as a baker with some chocolate chip cookies. The gang's all here. How'd you like this one?
Um, yeah, I always thought it was cool to see one of the turtles as a human, as Michelangelo turns into a human because he was eating some kind of anti-mutagen cookies from Shredder. And I mean, I always thought that it was weird that when Michelangelo turns into a human, he loses his turtle power, like he loses his strength. They were acting like they were as mutants, they have like some kind of superpower, which they don't have. But as a human, he's pretty weak. Um, yeah, and in this episode, we also get the return of Bebop and Rocksteady's old gang, which I thought was pretty cool to see
Yes,
them again.
yes, I enjoyed seeing Jersey Red and a couple of the other ones. High Five, I think, was one of their names, and
Yeah.
what was the other one? What was the main guy?
Um. Dude.
I'm drawing a
What was
blank.
the guy called? I'm drawing a blank. Yeah, me too.
Yeah, we'll have to check the bottom one day. Be like, oh, I knew it was that one. You're probably going to send me a message after this, after
Yeah.
we record this. Say, Mike, I know who he is. Mike, I got it. So, all right. This is the final time we see the neutrinos in season 3. The Gribbix. This is kind of a weird episode to me. You get a decent, although they show it twice, Leonardo versus Shredder, some decent animation for that battle fight. How'd you like or dislike, or what were your thoughts on this episode? This one was kind of weird to me. The Gribbix.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, but I like the whole Gremlins vibe that I get from it. Because
Yes,
there's this
with the water. Good point.
cute little pet, and I really think that the Gribbix is so cute. But when you feed it, it turns into a giant monster, and yeah, and Shredder, of course, wants to get his hands on it because he could use the telekinetic powers of the Gribbix to raise the Technodrome. Okay. Um, yeah. I always thought that it was cute that when Shredder finally got his hands on the Gribbix and kidnapped it, that Rocksteady was the one that thought, "Oh, it's so cute, it's hungry, give him a hamburger." Like, oh, Rocksteady has a soft side. We knew it. But yeah, as I said, it's the return of the neutrinos and the continuation of the love story between Michelangelo and Carla.
Oh yes, very touching there. And the Kala, I think they always change their voice actor. It seems like every year they had somebody else voicing Kala there. But yes, that's right. Well, you think of me, Michelangelo? Yep, that's a good point there. The little lovey-dovey spot. And is this a playoff of Pee Wee Herman, this little guy that comes up with the Mr. Odd goes to town in this next episode?
I think I always thought that Mr. Ogg was like a mix between Pee Wee Herman and Mr. Mixbiddlix from Superman.
Oh yes. Okay.
Yeah, something like this. I know that a lot of people hate Mr. Ogg, but I never really had a problem with him. Yeah, he was annoying, but that was the way he should be. And yeah, I mean, in this episode, he's pretty much dead. He's just annoying because all the magic that he does are actually just illusions, and he's causing trouble in the city. And once again, this is an episode where, in the end, it seems like the bad guys won because Mr. Ogg gives him like this, gives the Shredder and Krang like some kind of formula for energy for the Technodrome, and in the end, it seems like Shredder has won, but it turns out that Mr. Ogg tricked them. So no, that didn't work out either. Yeah.
Yeah, nothing wrong getting turned into cake and ice cream. I thought it was okay. Again, David Wise wrote this one. I didn't mind it. I enjoyed it. This one I always thought was really cool though. The lesson: be careful what you wish for. You just might get it. How did you like Shredderville?
Shredderville is a cool episode, even though it's like this whole it was all just a dream trope.
Yes.
But just this what if scenario. I think it was really cool that the turtles get transported to a world where Shredder has won. How would this look? And we see that Shredder is ruling the world, and he hates it because there's so much paperwork. I always thought that this was great. And yeah, Bebop and Rocksteady were never turned into mutants. Shredder abandoned Krang, and yeah, Bebop and Rocksteady even have April and Irma as their personal servants. It was pretty interesting.
Yeah, like some random like Egyptian type steel or something. I don't know what that was.
Yeah.
What else? Yeah, Zach returns again. Krang, the Technodrome's all screwed up. The whole world's in destruction, and like you say, Shredder begs them. And there's a little Mickey Mouse parody too, I think, in this one where they go to Dave's Disguises. And Raphael goes, "This is more you," and he puts on a Mickey Mouse hat on top of Donatello.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, right. And yeah, I always thought that the pit at Channel 6 where they have the I Love Shredder show was fantastic. When we see little baby Shredder with the helmet.
Yes, and then he's a bully in school or something. He throws somebody in like high school or grade school is another funny spot, like a shirt and tie. Oh yeah, I love that one a lot. And then here we go before we get into our little mini series. Bye Bye Fly. How did you like this one? Bye Bye Fly.
Yeah, as the title might suggest, it's the return of Baxter Stockman. We get him back again, and yeah, he finds like this ancient spaceship that he befriends, and Michelangelo gets turned into like a little gerbil, and but in the end, Baxter gets caught between dimensions and falls into a giant spider web, and this could have been the end of him, but yeah, he comes back later.
Yeah, with his new friend, his computer friend, because all he wanted was a friend. That's pretty much all he wanted was
Yeah,
the lonely computer.
that's sad. Yeah,
Very so. This is one you brought up in other podcast episode we had is this little mini series with the bigs. So we'll start off with the big ripoff. So what finally happens here? Do the bad guys finally win?
I gotta say, yes. This is the episode where the bad guys win because it's more or less like this. Shredder and Crank take over this military base, this robotic military base, and April gets caught in there, and the turtles have to save her. And all the while the turtles are busy, Bio and Rocksteady steal energy from somewhere else. So actually, that was pretty smart of them. Like it's attacked from two sides. And so, yeah, in the end, Shredder thinks, no, we've lost. But Krang's like, Bio and Rocksteady, they got some energy. And so, yeah, the Technodrome has power again to rise. So, yeah, pretty good cliffhanger there.
Took them almost 40 tries to finally, well, maybe a little under because they're not in every episode of season 3, but give or take close to 28 to 38 tries to finally get that power back. So then what happens in the big break-in? I like this one. I'll just do one quick little point out. I always enjoy the tea ceremony because just good comedy here again. David Wise writes this one. Splitter wants you to meditate on the beauty of your own cup. And then what does Raphael say? Meanwhile, the tea is getting cold.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great bit. But the whole episode is about that the Technodrome is coming back. The turtles try to stop it. They get into the Technodrome and they have some pretty good fights with foot soldiers, and even Krang gets involved in the action. And that was, yeah, something very unusual. Like Krang, like what did she use? Like this morning star kind of thing. And so, yeah, he kept the turtles pretty busy. But yeah, in the end, the turtles were able to stop the Technodrome by shrinking it down because Krang was using this shrinking ray to shrink down all the military bases so the Earth cannot fight back. But the Technodrome gets shrunken down, but Krang's like, I built this device, I can undo it. And so the Technodrome gets big again at the end, and once again, little cliffhanger there for the finale.
Yes, I love this one. It's pretty much like you say, Krang's it's probably his best action scene. It reminded me of the video games just because, in Turtles 2 and Turtles 3 for Nintendo, you're fighting Krang inside the Technodrome and they had that real troublesome there. Michelangelo does really good against Krang. I always laugh at the little Technodrome where they use the shrinking ray and it's like, ee! And it just like falls into a little hole. So I thought that was going to be the end of them, but you're right. Apparently it's not. And then we finally get to the season finale, the big blowout. I really thought this was well written from start to finish. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, absolutely. This three-parter is a really fantastic season finale. So the Technodrome comes back. Turtles once again try to stop it. Krang wants to open a portal to Dimension X to like transport the whole world to Dimension X. And honestly, if this was the series finale, it would have been fine. It would have been fine because in the end, the Technodrome gets blasted off into Dimension X with Krang, Shredder, everyone inside. And the turtles, they are like called the saviors of the world. People like cheer at them. And yeah, as I said, if this was the series finale, it would have been fine. As a season finale, it's fantastic.
I agree. I wonder if they thought it was going to be the end because there's that spot where Michelangelo and or Mike and Leo are taking on Rocksteady and Bebop, and they're talking about their old battles. And then thanks for the memories. And then Bebop says, "I think down our stroll down memory lane, we stepped into a pothole." Just random comedic tidbits again that fly over your head when you're watching this as a kid. Yeah, I thought it would have been great too as a series finale. They get trapped in Dimension X. Shredder tries to be optimistic. Could have been worse. We could have wound up in Dimension Z. And Krang says, "Come here." And then they fight there. They go out to celebrate with a pizza. I also like the lesson learned here, just to, again, for those who just to not be obsessed. I mean, Splinter says it really well here. Shredder's own evil will be his undoing. I thought it was great because they were supposed to win. Krang had him, dead to rights is a line I like to use when you're about to win somewhere. You have him dead to rights, but Shredder says, no, get out of the way. I want to destroy the Turtles. I'm going to do it right now. And what ends up happening is his own obsession is his own demise. So I thought that was a great lesson for people not to be obsessed and don't force anything in life. Let it come to you.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great, yeah.
Christian, we did this, buddy. Less than 2 hours. I'm proud of us. This was
Dude.
This might be one of my favorite podcasts. It feels like we've only been talking for 10 minutes. It's just flew by, man. This was great.
Dude, we've talked about the whole season, all 47 episodes. Hey,
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah, we crushed it, my guy. Hopefully we can get you back on again for season 4 because I really appreciate your knowledge, your passion for turtles. Where can people find your podcast if they want to know more about you and your love for turtles?
Yeah, hey, if you like what you're hearing and you want to hear more from me, check out TMNT The Talk. You can check it out on Spotify or Apple Podcast, wherever. Or I have a new website since this week, TMNTTalk.com. Whole new website. You can check out everything there. Just check out www.tmnttalk.com. Hey, see you there.
Oh, man, congratulations. I will gladly plug that when this gets up on YouTube. Christian, as always, my friend, thank you again for your time. I hope to get you on soon. Would you be down for season 4? I mean, we crushed 40 episodes. We could probably do this again if you'd like in the future, man. I love having you on here.
Hey, if you want to have me on again, it would be a pleasure. I mean, hey, we've talked about the 3rd season, which is the longest. So from there on, it's no problemo, dude.
Should be clear sailing for sure. All right, Christian, I'm going to let you go, buddy. Thank you so much for your time. And best wishes to you today. Turtle power.
Cowabunga.